Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the On Your Head Son podcast. We're going to be four sons of the same mother and father talking about football.
Yes!
I know what you're thinking. There's only three of us. That's the fourth one is currently on vacation in the south of France. What a shame. But, as you said, we do have all his predictions, all his content ready to share with you. All covered. I suppose without further ado, let's do some introductions. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name's Andy. I'm 24. I live in Winchester. I love a pint and I love football.
Very nice.
Thank you.
That's solid.
That was solid. Yeah, it's good, but I do have one question for you.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Who is your Premier League hero?
Harry Kane.
Harry
The
Kane.
perfect striker. Heads it in, taps it in, can finish from distance. What a player.
Very good. And who is your Premier League manager hero?
Sean Dyche. Oh, I love him. Dyche, my hero.
Very good.
Two.
Yeah. Right. Two good shouts. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so Matthew Barnett, 28, live in Surbiton. Massive football fan, as you can imagine, and excited to talk about Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Premier League's starting today.
Starting today. Indeed.
I assume it's going to be the same questions. So, favourite Premier League player or idol growing up was Thierry Henry.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Thought you might have said Mesut Ozil then.
Mesut Ozil, I've got his t-shirt upstairs actually. So yeah.
Well, no, Thierry Henry's obviously the one that got you into
Thierry Henry's obviously one got me into football. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and number 14, unbelievable. Same number as Troy Bolton. So yeah.
So it was Troy Bolton. Excellent.
Yeah, good.
Very good.
Manager, I don't know. I don't know. Gordon Strachan.
Why not?
Love
that Gordon Strachan reference.
Yeah.
We'll let Chris introduce himself next week. But I'm James, 32. Don't think we actually mentioned, but yeah, we're massive Saints fans, all of us. One of the reasons we're doing this podcast is to keep in touch with the Premier League a bit more, do a bit more like research, learning, conversation about it, which is exciting. My Premier League hero was Alan Shearer. I wasn't originally a Southampton fan. I watched Euro 96 and I fell in love with the man, and then through him, football. So yeah, that's my Premier League hero player. Manager. It's actually tough what to think. It's going to be a Saints one, and it's going to be Ronald Koeman. The glory years under Ronald Koeman, getting us to Europe, and then Claude Puel messing up the next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I suppose just to quickly introduce what we're going to be doing. We're going to be meeting up once a week. We're going to be doing it early in the week, and we're going to do a roundup of all the Premier League fixtures over the weekend. We're going to say opinions, some of them terrible, some of them good. There's just some general chat in between as well. I think it's both of you, to be fair. Harsh but fair. I would first of all like to hear your best transfer of the summer.
Okay. Go on, Andy. You can go first on this one.
Okay. Oh, I spoke about him earlier in the predictions. Mm-hmm. I think Alanga. Alanga for Forest for 15 million. A player who didn't get that much of a look in at Man United, and his appearances would have been off the bench, or if he was starting, he would have been one of the first that you'd take off if he didn't produce a goal or assist in the game. And I think he adds something to Forest, a different option that he's going to be playing for competition. With Ben Johnson. I think it's a fantastic sign for 15 million. I mean, how old is he? He's 20. I want to say he's 23, 21. Mm-hmm. He could be 21 actually. He's a young lad. So I think that's kind of that's definitely going to push the rest of the team.
I would have to say I kind of disagree on that. I don't think Alanga's that great. I mean, if he didn't even get a look in behind Sancho and Anthony last season, they were poor. I think he's an average winger. I think he's.
I think for the future,
I don't think he's Man United level.
That kind of goes further forward.
I think we will see.
Having him on their books and playing for competition at a level that Forest is, I think that's a fantastic sign.
I think in an average team, he's going to be average.
Mm-hmm.
Average.
Yeah.
He worked better for a couple of games at Man United at the beginning because he played in a better team.
Yeah, and because he was quick and no one knew who he was. Yeah,
I think
the minute he got found out, he was.
I think it's good business for Man United that selling him 15 million.
Do you think?
I think they made a lot
Do
of
you
money.
not think that's good? I think he's going to be fantastic going forward for Forest.
That was possibly near my worst signings.
Yeah, you were not a fan of that. No, well, I think that's for me. That's one of my best transfers.
No, that's absolutely fine. We'll go with Chris's next.
Not his.
So he went one that I agree with very highly, which was Kovacic. Kovacic from Chelsea to Man City. I mean, we can all talk about it, but I think it's a great replacement for Gundogan. It's not going to be the same game changer, but in terms of his general play, I think he's going to be a very, very similar fit. I think he's perfect.
Good utility player for. We talked about it earlier, just like Pepsi.
Just slotty.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not
Solid player.
He's
tidy on the ball.
He's also only 29.
Pressing. Yeah.
Esquire, he's been around for. Well, obviously he was at Real Madrid and then went to Chelsea, but he's been around for years, and the experience is just ridiculous. And he does actually score some, not as much as Gundogan, but he has scored some crucial goals for Chelsea. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he's going to fit into that squad unbelievably.
No argument. If I could argue it, but.
Would you like to go next, Matt?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So I mean, for my best signing, we're in Pau Torres.
No, that's why I knew. That's why I asked you, because I knew you were going to say that.
Pau Torres.
I went Pau Torres as well. Yeah. I have another one, so that's fine.
No, I know. Yeah, I know you have one as well. I think he's. But anyway, Pau Torres, I think he's just going to fit the Premier League absolutely perfectly. I think that Aston Villa back line is going to be very, 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 very good.
Yeah. Straight away, do you think it will?
What, Pau Torres?
Yeah.
Pau Torres is. How he's got to Villa is because of Unai Emery. I think Unai Emery's an unbelievably defensive coach. Well, not just defensive, unbelievable coach, but defensively, I think he's a very, very, very good coach. I don't know how old Pau Torres is. I think he's 25. Let's quickly have a look. I've just got it. Born in 97. So what does that make him? 26. So I mean, like.
Do you know what? Like, it was interesting as well. I mean, sorry, just on a side note to Pau Torres, is that they signed a marquee centre back last summer in Diego Carlos, and he got injured straight away. So they've got two really good, and Konza, and Mings is not a bad four.
Tyrone Mings.
Yeah, they're going to be solid.
Mings is actually, I think, I won't talk about Pato, but like Mings is a very good player in his own right. I think England's probably number 3 or 4 choice centre back. I know we're not blessed with centre backs at the moment, but I mean, that might be the next one. But I mean, I think Pau Torres playing alongside any of them, he's ball playing. I think he's just going to fit Aston Villa, fit the Premier League very, very, very well. And so I mean, I'm picking him as my signing of the summer. So
nice.
Yeah. What about yourself? Another centre back?
No, isn't.
No.
So
okay,
you predicted that, but that means I rate that very highly, and it's
honourable mention.
Honourable mention to Harry Maguire. I think we all mentioned him, Chris included. I think that's a superb signing for West Ham. Just fits everyone. 30 million makes works for Man United, works for Maguire, works for West Ham. Yeah, perfect. My one is Man United. And it's Andre Onana. I think he has. I think he'll change the way that Man United play massively. Massively. I think Andy's about to say he's the worst signing. This will be interesting, but I think he's going to completely change the way that Man United play, and they'll be able to build up with the back better. He's a solid. I think he's a just as good a shot stopper as De Gea is these days, and I think I think it's going to be brilliant. He's got so much confidence. He exudes confidence and arrogance.
It's a downgrade from David De Gea. It's got to be
I really don't think
so. I just
for all the Premier League experience that David De Gea has.
I don't think that means for anything.
Doesn't know. Nathan Redmond's got a lot of Premier League experience.
Well,
don't mention it.
We are about to do our
very angry.
We are about to do our worst transfer.
I mean, I went Onana.
You went Onana.
Wow.
So he's the worst.
For the money they're spending, I think that's just such a downgrade. Losing David De Gea for free, and it's 47 point something. It's 47 million point one or something.
Does the point matter?
Well, no, but I like it.
This is the point.
This is the point.
This is the point.
This is the point. He's not going to live up to that. I don't think he's not going to be the best signing. Definitely not.
But you need to get
I'm saying for the money they're spending on a downgrade on David De Gea.
It's about the way that Ten Hag wants to play. It's not about how good he is at shot stopping. And arguably, he's
still
just
a goalkeeper.
Arguably, he's
You're losing a worse shot stopper.
I don't think he's a worse shot stopper. And he's so much better with his feet. It's ridiculous, and be able to play and build the ball up. David De Gea played so many hospital passes last year.
But I think Onana still has that in him as well.
Well, he's mistakes in him.
I've seen sporadic mistakes in him as well. So I don't think he's going to be. I don't back him. I don't back him, but
interesting.
That's my prediction.
I think he's the one that actually maybe put Man U third.
Yeah,
that's
the one. Yeah.
That signing.
He's raised their
more
game.
so than Mount and more so than good old
Haaland.
Haaland 2.0.
Haaland
2.0.
The Danish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, he's a big factor in the fact that I moved them up. Yeah, definitely. Sorry. I put them fourth. I've already got mine.
I do look forward to seeing them play.
Yeah, no, sorry.
So I'm going to say next. I think we all agreed on one simultaneously, but we've gone against that.
No,
which was Havertz.
I disagree.
Well, everyone has said so. I don't necessarily think that Havertz is a bad signing. I think for the amount of money they've spent on Kai Havertz, I think that is insane. What does he do that Leandro Trossard doesn't do?
And now Jesus is injured.
Well,
he's going to be going on a false nine.
Different player to Leandro Trossard.
Yeah, but worse.
He's going to be a false nine for Arsenal now.
Well, that's only because Jesus is injured.
Yeah, and he can't.
Otherwise, he's.
He shows that could be
There is such a player in Havertz. There really is. He's really good. He's just not a finisher.
No. And he's basically should be just a kind of a cam that has a free role in a worse team.
Yeah, 4-2-3-1, he'd be a perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that kind of player, unfortunately, the Ozil type, is just dead at the moment, and it's just not it'll come back in 10, 15 years time, in the same with every kind of formation kind of has its day, and every position has its day. But at the moment, obviously, it's 2 number 8s, but he's not a number 8. He's not a false 9. He's not a winger.
He's not a striker.
Well, exactly, yeah. And it's one of those. Like Chelsea used him as a number 9, and he links up the play very well. He really does, and he actually almost completes that team, makes them almost like a better team in a weird way, but also gives them no goal for it.
Yeah.
So, which is at the end of the day, is kind of all what strikers should be doing, is almost giving.
I think if you're signing for 20 mil, 15 mil, you kind of go that's.
Yeah, but 60, 65.
That's what it's not.
Yeah, I think that's.
I don't think it's good business at all.
I mean, but I'm sure everyone's gone worst transfer Havertz.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's kind of boring to say.
So that, we just want to clarify that actually wasn't. Well, it was all of ours, but we wanted to go for different ones. So I'm just going to shout out Chris's. Chris's. Chris was Tonali to Newcastle. Well, he's a very good player.
Will he adapt quickly?
I don't know. He doesn't seem like someone that's going to adapt like Bruno Guimaraes adapted, and he's now an honorary Geordie now.
I thought this was the Hungarian. I thought this was the Hungarian Liverpool signed. So was Szoboszlai.
I may all completely be butchering that to our Hungarian fans. But
apologies to our
cheers,
Hungarian fans. Thanks, Mum. No, but I think he might struggle to quickly adapt.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's one of these people I've not actually seen him particularly play, but I think for the money they're spending on him, there's big expectations.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, for me, so none of Newcastle signing, I know we probably should, but they're all very much Eddie Howe signings. They're all very much kind of like, if they finish 8th, they could have made the same signings. None of them's a marquee signing. None of it. Tonight's the most marquee, but I mean, it's not like a.
It's functional.
It's
exactly. That's what he wants.
It's young. Yeah, exactly.
It's what's worked.
Exactly. But you don't want what he doesn't want anyway. Is that marquee signing? And I think at one point, say they're 3 months in, for example, say we're November, December time.
Yeah.
And they're 8th or 9th. What are the owners going to do? And I genuinely do question that, because obviously, with kind of getting the Champions League so early in their reign, like it's literally they were 20th or 19th whenever it was when they took over. Literally a year and a half ago, they finished 16th. I think the year they took over, when we took over in Jan. They were
they massively overperformed.
Massively overperformed last year, and
Trippier
coming I look at their players, and I still think they're. 8th, 9th.
Yeah.
But I mean, under Eddie Howe, I think they're a very good team because of the way that he morphs a player. Because it's all Pochettino like in that kind of way. It's a young team. Keep on pressing, keep on going, keep on progressing, and like. But if you get a superstar in there, which they haven't done, which is good, obviously, but none of those signings excite me at all. At all, like.
No, exciting, but they're good. They're good signings.
Yeah. I mean, they're good backup. I mean, Livramento for Trippier.
No,
they're good signings.
And Ashley Barnes as well. Harvey Barnes.
I think we're going off the point slightly of Tonali. I think it's a bit harsh putting him the worst signing.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, no, but
there's obviously the viral videos of him turning up to the gym in Newcastle and his girlfriend like laughing at it and like, what was this?
Well, no, but like, so he was signed 55 million. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
A lot of money. So that's obviously why. Like you can't necessarily like kind of sniff at that. So yeah, I mean, my worst signing is, and I went for Wolves, and I went for a striker who's obviously been on loan there, Cunha. Sign him for 50 million euros, which is like 45. What's that? 45 million.
I'm sure he was signed in January.
Honestly, he was on loan, and they bought him for 50 million euros, which is absolutely ridiculous. He's Fabio Silva 2.0. They signed him for 35 million, whatever it was.
Oh, he's the worst signing of all
time.
Exactly.
He's back, by the way. He's back.
He is back, but I think he got let go. Didn't he?
Possibly. I saw him play when I was in Belgium last year for Anderlecht, and he was average.
No, I know. So I'm going. He signed for a similar amount to Tonali, a little bit less, and I can't see anything that Wolves are going to do well. Like we spoke about Wolves quite in detail last time.
We've gone into
Wolves a lot, but I just see him as just a massive flop.
Yeah, no, they're fair. I mean, I didn't actually have that in my because it didn't actually show on my because the business was done last year. Done last year. That's fair. No, that's fair.
Yeah, I just don't.
I didn't
Did he
see
play
that.
much last year?
Yes. So he scored 2 goals in like 14 games or something like that. Whilst and then before that he'd scored 6 goals in 40 games wherever he was before. I can't remember who it was.
Berlin?
I can't remember. I mean, but it's Cunha. It's such a forgettable name. He was at Atletico Madrid. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it's such a lot of money. He's 24. I just see that as the biggest flop. But also, I'd love to meet him. Biggest fan, Logan Paul.
Wow. So my worst transfer, and it's not a big money transfer at all. I just don't see the point in this transfer. I don't understand why money has been transferred from one club to another for this player, and I feel really bad because I actually love him. I think he's one of my old favourites, but he's just deteriorated to such an extent. And it's ex-Wolves, now Fulham, Raul Jimenez. I absolutely loved him. Before he cracked his head, swept his skull, he was superb.
Him with Traore were fantastic.
Not just Traore, but it was just everything about him was amazing.
I
know. And then that he cracked his head, and he just wasn't the same guy. He can't go in and win headers anymore. He just seems a bit more nervous. He scored maybe a couple of goals in 2 seasons. How on earth another Premier League side has decided to gamble and pay money to sign that man to score goals for them? I don't understand it.
No.
It doesn't make any sense.
I think he actually was. I mean, again, we're talking about Wolves.
Yeah.
But
Wolves.
I mean, you said it earlier on when we were talking about Wolves as a whole, but no player in the last 2 seasons has scored more than 6 goals or something like that. Yeah. And he's been leading the line the last 2 years.
I know. And
that's damning.
Literally, yeah, exactly. It's damning, but it's also... It shows lack of creativity as
Oh,
well.
and they had to bring in an aging Diego Costa to play try and fill that gap.
Who actually replaced him? Not even.
Yeah, I know.
And who didn't score a goal? I don't think.
No, not one goal. No.
But yeah, so I mean, completely agree with you, Jimenez. They've obviously brought him in as a Mitrovic kind of replacement.
But how's that replacement?
Vinicius as well.
But Vinicius is.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's good, but they're very similar standards. Yeah, they're not going to do that much.
You'd be much better off, and I'm not making a Saints podcast. You'd be much better off signing Shea Adams than you would be signing Raul Jimenez. You're laughing. I'm not saying Che Adams is a great player.
He did score against Sheffield Wednesday, didn't he?
He did score against Sheffield Wednesday. He did.
So, yeah.
But that just seems
No.
I think that's a really poor signing.
No, completely agree.
Did anyone else have any notes? Just quick.
No,
quick
those
shout
are
outs.
my bad.
Goods or bads?
What for good?
Haaland 2.0.
Hoyland.
Hoyland, I mean,
Yeah.
70 mil, 65 mil, whatever it is. 20-year-old, we spoke about it. Atalanta, 9 goals, whatever it is you pay. I don't know, it's a, like, he could hit the ground running, but you're spending 70 mil on a completely unknown.
Yeah.
And that to me never has boded well. And I think Man U's history in the past 5-6 years, they've spent 600 million, over 600 million over the last 5 years in terms of net spend. Like, it's poor. It's poor, and where they're going.
We'll see. What he is he's an unknown entity, and
no, exactly.
it's a lot of money for an unknown entity.
Exactly. And I mean, like, for example, it could all be a play, but I mean, I just don't understand how a 20-year-old who hasn't proven himself in any league, in any kind of like,
72 million.
It can be worth that. It just doesn't compute to me whatsoever. Like, for example, you get Pau Torres for 30 mil. I don't understand how you can get that, and then you can get. I don't know what. I don't know what you guys think, but yeah, I think that was my mention of it.
My other notable mentions, I'd say, for best transfer.
Yeah.
Sander Berge.
Yeah.
Incredible bit of business from Burnley, taking it away from Sheffield United as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
James Milner, back up for Europe.
Yeah.
European experience, good player to have in any position. And also Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
Premier League captain, like you said.
Yeah.
Getting him and James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah. I agree. The other worst transfer I had, just because I think he's not very good anymore. Mentioned it earlier, Ross Barkley. He's free, but I just don't. What's the point?
He's part of history.
It's part of history. I could also just go on a random tangent with Michael Obafemi as well, but I didn't. Or Nathan Redmond. But they're free. They're free.
No.
Obafemi was like 2 mil or something.
Yeah, 2 mil. Yeah.
Bargain.
So
exactly. So I mean,
but
and also actually, I want to say, sticking on Man U, I do want to say Mason Mount's a very good signing, and I think
he's a very good signing.
I think he's a very, very, very underrated player. Good player. So
I mean, he's from Pompey, but boo.
Is he from Pompey?
Yeah.
Rubbish player.
So that wraps up our analysis of the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good transfers. Good
transfers, everyone. Good transfers. But
arguments.
Yeah. Do you know what that means? It means summer's over. What does that mean? It means the season is beginning. And what does that mean?
The predictions game!
Exactly. So, in our predictions game, we are all going to be picking one team to win each week. We can only pick one team once up until the round of 19 fixtures runs out. So if I pick Man United one week, I can't pick them again.
Till January.
Makes sense. Yeah. We will get 1 point if we get the win correct. 0 points for a draw, 0 points for a loss. We're also going to predict the scores as well. If we get the score exactly correct, we will get double points. Double point.
Double points.
So,
but you get 2 points.
I know you're all excited.
Predictions
predictions game indeed. But what we're first going to do, we're going to read out all the fixtures.
The names are work in progress.
I think just say what it is. Say what you see. Predictions games. So here we have the first weekend of fixtures. Tomorrow night we have Burnley versus Manchester City. We then have Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest.
Good game.
West Ham playing at Bournemouth. Brighton at home to Luton. Everton versus Fulham. Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace. Newcastle versus Aston Villa. Tottenham with a tricky trip to Brentford. Chelsea at home to Liverpool. And Monday night football is Man United versus Wolves. So we've spoken a lot about tonight.
so much about Wolves.
Man U and Wolves,
indeed.
That is the idea of this podcast, though, is we're not just concentrating on the top 6. Because I feel like a lot of kind of like the whole mainstream media is just built around talking around Man U, Liverpool.
So is that why you spent such a long time talking about Arsenal?
No, so
And we have gone on about Man United.
no, but mainly we haven't talked too much about it. It's mainly been, to be honest, Wolves.
Wolves are the stars or anti-stars of the show.
I like Wolves.
Everton as well.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Wolves are going to be my dark horse this year.
Dark horse to finish
Dark horse.
18th.
I can put 20th.
So I'm guessing by our conversation that no one has picked Wolves. Starting, I guess should we start off with Chris? Seeing as he's not here.
Nice and easy.
So Chris has decided to choose for Arsenal
Yeah.
to win 3-1 versus Nottingham Forest tomorrow lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
And that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Using Arsenal quite early on.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
early card to take.
Let's go take.
But,
I've got to be honest. I had a tough. It was tough choosing some of these because I don't think there's a lot that are guaranteed here
there's
this
no
week.
gimmies.
There aren't gimmies. There is one gimme, I think, and I've gone for it.
Yeah.
I think it's Brighton versus Luton, and I've gone for Brighton 4-0.
You've gone Brighton.
Brighton 4-0.
I think is it Brighton at home?
Yes.
Brighton at
No,
home.
fine. Okay, fine.
If it was the other way
Yeah.
around.
I wouldn't take it, but I think that Brighton will.
Yeah.
With that, and I think it's a good time to get a nice early win in.
Get the Brighton
Yeah.
cards. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
fine.
pretty good.
Fine. Yeah, no. 4-0 though is a bit optimistic. I think Luton are gonna
Do bits.
They're gonna do it.
Yeah.
The hat is and all that.
Yeah.
Andy,
Matt,
sorry,
Matt.
go on, you go.
Right. I'm using a bold one. First game of the season.
Yeah.
I think Sheffield United.
Oh!
Sheffield United.
We
Paul
got
United
Hackenham.
at Crystal Palace. We like a bit of a.
We got a little
Oh,
playoff.
good.
We got a playoff.
We got a
playoff. What's your score?
1-0.
You got 1-0
Sheffield United. 5 at the back. They're going to park it up. Then Crystal Palace get frustrated. Ollie McBurney. No, John Egan. No,
With
John Egan.
very small shin pads.
We're very
That's your only fact about it.
Right,
That's why he's host. That's why he's host. I'm Palace 2-1. Palace away at the Blades. I'm going then all day. I'm going 2-1. I think I'm going to use my Palace card early. It's not a team I really want to follow too much. I'm not gonna lie to you. So yes, I mean, and I think obviously Sheffield are a bit of an unknown entity. I think there's such a toxic atmosphere going into that game in terms of the fans. Yes, their first game in the Premier League, but no one's optimistic about Sheffield United this year at all.
I don't think Palace are white going away there though. I think.
I know, and Palace could start slowly. I think again there were no gimmies this year.
No.
This week at all. So.
Fair play.
So yeah, that's my mind. So we've got a little playoff.
We'll see.
Nice little playoff.
Yeah.
Very
Catch you on
good.
the flippity
Yeah.
flap.
No, very good. Look forward to seeing how that turns out.
The
Yeah.
rivalry.
Whether
Game of the week.
game of the week.
Game of the week.
Well, that is the game of the week. Sheffield United.
I've got 1-0. Yeah.
I mean, you did just go on a big monologue about how you wanted to cover not top teams. So Sheffield United versus
It's
Crystal
about
Palace.
that,
We can't do that one because they're top team.
I'm taking that. Yeah. Game of the week. Go on.
Game of the week.
Why not? Well, it's obviously Liverpool Chelsea, isn't it?
Liverpool Chelsea. Yeah.
It's obviously very good.
That was a boring game.
See where the teams are.
Yeah.
Also very interested to watch the opening game, Burnley Man City. Like to see actually where Burnley are.
Is it Burnley at home?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good game.
Which should be
Yes,
good.
company, yeah.
Right. Any closing points? Any wise words of wisdom?
It's been long.
It's been long.
Been long.
Tiring.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, Mum.
Yes.
If you've made it this far.
Yeah.
Love you, Dad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Exactly. Go on, James.
I think the funniest thing about this first podcast is we've just sat here with a Messi shirt behind us and we've not even mentioned it once. I mean, most people are like, why is there a Lionel Messi shirt? Sat there.
He's the fourth brother.
Sorry.
Look, he's the fourth brother.
I don't even think we need to mention it. I just think it's funny that we haven't mentioned it now. But,
It's signed. That's
signed.
Yeah, I mean that's
Right, don't gloat, man.
it's quite cool. It's quite cool actually.
It's
I've not
quite
liked
cool.
it. Yeah.
That's my closing words of wisdom. And well, I guess thank you very much for not listening or not watching, as I assume you have. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Don't know which one it is right now for you or for us, to be completely honest with you. It's just like the Truman Show. Yeah, exactly. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Whatever time you're listening to us. And remember, it's on your head, son.
Not off your head.
Son.
God, that was loud.